Who knows how long Knuckles was in that orb for? He probably needs to blow off some steam. Sexually. Frontiers has graced the platforms, and man, people have some opinions on this title. Some love it, some were out to lunch on it, others hated it. What did the Eggman do to you, Digital Trends man? I finally cleared the game, and oh boy, I have a lot to say on it. So before we cross this new frontier together, it'd be killer if you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell as well for notifications on future videos. And with that out of the way, let's begin.
声優ソニック君の負け自分のゲームなのにね
As usual with the Sonic game, he's on an adventure to save his friends while exploring a new land, this time the Starfall Islands. I definitely think that Sonic Team looked at all those fan games you saw on YouTube and said, yeah, let's copy that. Not to say that's a bad thing, get your inspiration where you can. It is a bit weird to see floating platforms and random grind rails throughout the islands, but you're playing a game about a blue hedgehog who can run fast. If you're looking for logic here, your priorities are, kinda skewed. The Starfall Islands have that desolate beauty that games like Nier or Breath of the Wild had, but if they were designed by Tony Hawk. There's a lot of personality and small details in the world that make you question who built this stuff, how did it get here, and what's my purpose for being on the island? All those questions will be answered in due time. Sonic Team realized what's fun about Sonic, just running around and going fast and having a good time. And that's the strongest point of Frontiers, just running around, getting in little fights, and solving little puzzles. A part of the fun is seeing how you get to somewhere, like maybe there's a spring or a line of rings that lead to some puzzle, or some platforms that give you a goodie like a vault key. And the more puzzles you solve, the more of the map is unlocked. And I like solving the puzzles. They don't take up too much time and are varied enough to keep things interesting, unlike climbing up the same boring towers in every goddamn Ubisoft game ever. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Sonic Team for including a control adjuster. Sonic in the Boost era of games always handled a bit too heavy for my taste, and after some adjustment he plays really nice. What isn't nice is the pop-in. I thought it was a meme, but no, the pop-in is bad in Frontiers, and this is being played on a shiny new PS5. I never lost a life because of the pop-in, but it is really poor looking on Frontiers' end. Sony forgot to put blast processing in the PS5, that's why. As alluded to, there is a bunch of things to collect, a collectathon if you will. You need gears to unlock the Cyberspace levels, keys to unlock the Chaos Emeralds, seeds and cocos to upgrade Sonic's abilities, and tokens to unlock your friends' memories. One of the big themes in this game is memories. Sonic's friends are trapped in an alternate world called the Cyberspace and need their memories to get out of that world. And venturing into the Cyberspace levels are supposed to be Sonic's memories. It's kind of a weird angle for a Sonic game, but what isn't weird in this series? What is weird is that this is the second game to come out in November that has memories as a core theme. Difference is, this one was made by people who are horny, and this one brings out the worst kind of horny and the worst kind of people. A nice diversion from the open zones is the Cyberspace levels, which play like Sonic levels from the Boost era. They are pretty straightforward, just get to the end goal. You do get more keys if you complete challenges like get the red rings or get under a certain time, and for the most part they are fairly easy, 1-2 aside. They are fun, but there's two problems with the Cyberspace levels. For one, Sonic's control settings are fixed, and he handles very heavy and can't turn all that well in the Cyberspace levels. And these are similar issues I had during Sonic Forces. With all the games in the Sonic series, Sonic still hasn't handled better than in Sonic Adventure 1. Second, there's only 4 environments, which comes across as lazy. I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Sonic has been to more 4 places in his goddamn life. There is a ton of stuff to collect, but you get everything you need just by, playing the game normally. You don't need to search the whole island for 25 of something just because there's only 25 or something. And even if you are short of something, just find Big's fishing hole and go fishing for some extra stuff. Don't worry about the water, I'm sure that's how water works in real life. And you know what? The fishing is actually pretty freaking fun. I think they just reused the fishing minigame from Yakuza 0. Regardless, it's a good palate cleanser, and with a bit of time you can get basically anything you need. How Big survived digitization is something I want to see. Put that in the roadmap, Sega! For everything Sonic Team got right with Frontiers, there are some issues, and they aren't just minor. As mentioned, Sonic handles very stiffly in the Cyberspace levels, and there is a ton of jank in this game. Like, you won't be sure if hitting a slip will make Sonic run up and normally or send him flying somewhere you don't want him to go. In the third island, there is forced 2D segments which come out of nowhere and are a pain to get off of. There are a ton of small but unskippable cutscenes. I don't need to see a zoom in on Sonic each time I have max speed. The fourth island is basically just a giant info dump where you have to climb up 6 towers and it gets pretty boring really fast. And the final island is visually similar to the first island. And this might be a controversial opinion, I didn't like the combat all that much. Yeah, it's more in-depth than previous Sonic games, which is nice, but the big boys have gimmicks which can take forever to kill until you level up Sonic's attack. In particular, the squids took a hot minute to put down as you have to chase them down before you can actually hit them. And if a bad guy involves grinding to fight, be prepared for a long battle. I swear these crab bastards in the final island were the hardest bastards in the game to fight. And while the supersonic fights are visually impressive and have amazing music, playing them was a different story. It's a bit hard to understand what the Titans are going to do and where the hitboxes are at. And it's even confusing knowing what to do in the boss battles. That said, with a bit of practice, you get through them like a breeze. But I feel like they could have been cleaned up just a little bit. If this game's goal was to make me listen to the new Sleeping with Sirens album, mission accomplished. It's actually pretty good. If I was a professional critic, I'd probably give this game like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, which seems to be the average for most professional reviewers. But what do Sonic fans think? Well, let's ask one now. Henshin! Don't listen to that asshole because this game is amazing. This is the game Sonic fans have been dreaming about for the longest time, just running through an open world as Sonic. It's so liberating to blast through the levels, getting rings, saving Cocos, and solving all the puzzles. And when you solve the puzzles, the island gets connected by rails, and it's way past cool grinding through the island. It's kinda like the monorail if it actually worked. The Cyberspace levels are also a great tribute to the series. They're in the game just enough to spice things up, but don't overstay their welcome. And if you play previous games, you'd be like, yeah, I remember this level. They're also short enough that you can replay them again and again and again and master the levels and find all the secrets. And the boss battles are also epic. When you find the patterns and you do these awesome cutscenes that take off huge chunks of life on the bad guys, it's so epic. And the boss battles are only enhanced by the excellent choreography and the epic music. And oh god, how could I go this far into the review and not say the music is some of the best the series has to offer? Between the somber music of the islands, the EDM ravers of the cyberspace levels, and of course the bangers that are the Titan boss battle themes. I might be biased on the last one because Sega fan Z-Man is also a bit of a metalcore fan, if you couldn't tell. And oh my god, they got one okay rock through the ending theme? That must have cost Sega a lot of money. There is a ton of good in Frontiers, but why do I love this game so much? It made me truly happy. As a kid, I had a Genesis, and two of the games I had were Sonic 1 and 2. Of course, I had many other games, but no game kept me hooked as much as the Sonic titles. The games were so colorful, they had amazing music, and were endlessly replayable, and always made for a good pick-me-up. I got a Dreamcast a little later and had Sonic Adventure and was also totally enamored. While playing Frontiers, I just felt like a dumb kid again running around a Sonic world. For me, and I feel like a lot of other people, games are a good escape. Whether it be from a bad day at school, issues with friends or family, or whatever. For me, Sonic was always there to help me out and get me through things and give me a temporary escape from reality. The positive attitude and the never give up mentality of the series also really resonated with me. And that's why I love the series so much. It always told me to push forward, you'll find a way through. I got that feeling again with Frontiers. Frontiers, as well as that iceberg I made last year, really rekindled my love for the franchise after a decade of mid. Lost World was good and I will die on that hill. So, now I want to talk about the plot of Sonic Frontiers, because this game gets insane, even by Sonic standards. So here's your warning. If you don't want to get spoiled, go to this time in the video or use the chapter select down below. So here's your final warning. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. And here we go. Sonic Team, after 3 fucking decades, learned that they can't write their way out of a paper bag, so they got Ian Flynn to pen the story. So the story is a bit more involved than usual, with a good dose of memberberry soup for good measure. Sonic and friends were chasing down the Chaos Emeralds and found themselves trapped on the Starfall Islands with the mysterious voice telling Sonic to get the Chaos Emeralds. While a new character known as Sage is doing her part to get Sonic the fuck out of the island, like club security throwing people out for passing out on the VIP couch. True story. Sonic naturally wants to save his friends and find out what's going on, but Sage isn't being very cooperative. We learn that Sage isn't a force on the island, but an AI created by Eggman to be like his daughter. And thank God it's an AI. I don't want to imagine the unfortunate woman who had to get a mustache ride from Eggman. I'm still scarred by 2 babies, 1 fox. Sage does learn more about emotion through Sonic's interactions with his friends on the island, leading to a surprisingly moving scene with Sonic and Tails talking like nothing is wrong, while Sage cries with the saddest music possible playing in the background. It's so ridiculous it actually works. Regardless of Sage's character development, Sage is devoted to her father, Eggman. She put him in cyberspace to protect him from something. You see those cute Cocos you've been saving? They are actually a remnant of an ancient alien civilization called the Ancients. The Ancients used the Chaos Emeralds to power their civilization. A horror beyond imagination attacked the Ancients, and they fled to Earth. The Ancients created the Titans you've been fighting throughout the game to fight the horror, but all they managed to do was seal it away in cyberspace. And that horror's name is The End. The End and the Ancients, huh?
The guy who thinks up the names is on vacation.
Basically, the End has been goading Sonic into getting the Chaos Emeralds not only to take out the Titans, aka the one thing that could seal the End, but also free it from cyberspace. The End reveals it has been behind a lot of the issues in the Sonic universe, using the power of the Emeralds to slowly power itself over time, and finally with Sonic on the Starfall Islands, it found its chance to strike. Just to recap, the End chasing the Ancients to Earth indirectly caused most of the conflict with the Sonic series. Through the End's planning, it actually managed to escape cyberspace and wants to eliminate all creation, so Sonic, Sage, and a Titan have to team up to take it down. And you wanna know how they put it down? In a goddamn bullet hell shooter ripped straight from Ikaruga. And it isn't too far removed from Ikaruga in terms of difficulty. I have to give Sonic Team and Ian Flynn props, because it takes some serious huevos to retcon 30 years worth of games out of nowhere and to make the final boss play like a totally different game than the game you've been playing for the past 20 hours. Kudos to you, you crazy bastards. I can feel it, the final boss music is blasting. Let's show that son of a bitch the End how we do things in Albuquerque. Just a few more shots. Here's the chance to strike. And boom! The End has met its end. Sadly at the cost of Sage's life. Sonic's friends reunite, everyone goes their separate ways, and Eggman lost his daughter. Sort of. In the MCU stinger, it shows that he saved Sage. And with that, Sonic Frontiers has come to a close, and what a frontier it was.
The skies ahead are vast and clear. I hold my breath, step up a gear, feel the wind, smell the air. Chances are everywhere. Our sights are set beyond the moon. Let's show the world what we can do. Dreams are big, eyes are wide. Hear the voice deep inside. Obstacles are no excuse. Come what may, there's nothing to lose. Turbulence won't stop us, we'll keep pulling through. Challenges life throws our way make us even stronger today. This is how we ignite. Boost your spirit off the ground. I'm on.
And that's my review of Sonic Frontiers finished, and I hope you enjoyed it. In a previous video, I said that Frontiers had the hardest job in being better than Mania, but the easiest job in being better than Forces. And while I don't think the game is better than Mania necessarily, I definitely think Frontiers is a huge step in the right direction. So the question is now, what does Sonic Team do from here? I think they have a good formula with the whole open world zone thing, I just think they need to refine it into something special. For me personally, I would like to see a game with more Sonic characters playable, such as Silver or Shadow. And I think it'd be cool if we had a game that could combine all these Sonic timelines into one, something like a giant Crisis crossover, you know, that has the classic timeline, the modern timeline, the movie timeline, the comics. Something like that would be really interesting. And if Sonic Team is watching this, I want another port of Nights into Dreams. I want a port on the Switch, and bring back Burning Rangers, because that game was really awesome. And I think we'll just leave it at that. So thank you for watching, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So let me know down in the comments, did you like Sonic Frontiers, or what do you want to see in the next Sonic game? Let me know down in the comments, and while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell as well for notifications on future videos. Hit me up on the social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you know what it is, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody. Take care.